It is time to go racing once again in a new season for the 2024 European Le Mans Series with United from pole position. Listen to the noise. Oh, I've missed this. And down into the first corner goes Philippe Ugran with Matthias Kaiser trying to hang on to his coattails, but he may well lose out. No, Kaiser in the sky blue, I think, has just held on. No, moving down to second position now as Lorenzo Fluxa starts to flex his muscles in that second place car for Cool. And Cool wants to be in second and third as there's an early spin for the number 5 car of RLR M Sport and James Dayson. We haven't yet had the carnage that we had though last year through the first sequence of corners. I don't want to speak too soon. Down the hill into turn 5 we go.
Yeah, did see one of the two Nielsen racing cars run wide at the first turn, has rejoined using that little escape road. Robert Kubica though has made very good early progress here.
Philippe Ugran caught napping there because Lorenzo Fluxa, thankfully both wise to the fact that that was a fake green coming through the final corner and done slightly in error. It looks a little bit battered and bruised actually, the front of that car. Yeah, it is.
To the front of that car. This,
well, it looks like the front right may be a similar shape as well. So they're going to take the nose off the car and replace it. That's one of the reasons why it won't have been going as fast as it should be. Ugran desperately trying to block off the Cool Racing car, but he couldn't do that too much, otherwise he would have been penalised. Just gently inching the car over to the right, and actually there was the briefest Goodyear rubber on the grass there from Lorenzo Fluxa.
Oh, there's a clash there between the number 10 and the 47, and both in the gravel, and they're not going to get out of there without assistance. 5th place battle between Alejandro Garcia and Ryan Cullen, yellow at turn 1.
Tony Wells with 2 wheels on the grass there, very dusty grass as well, to try and stay out of this scrap that involves LMP3s and the Kessel Racing car guy LMGT3 Ferrari. As the Lamborghini goes incredibly wide and is out in the dirt. I even saw that in the mirror there of our onboard camera for Sarah Bovey, but Hamaguchi rescued the situation, and Bovey in the 85 Porsche has slipped back because of the latest bout of pit stops.
Oh, and that's another mirror gone. That was a mirror on the 57 car going awry. The right-hand mirror hitting the scenery after side-by-side contact with that is the second of the RLR cars, the 15 car.
The problem is the time reads as 11:3, so we start at 11:30, so you've got about 9 minutes to choose from there. But actually the message was issued at 11:36, so probably can only concern the first 2 laps.
Takeshi Kimura fending off a string of cars behind. One Lamborghini, the wailing 5.2 litre V10, and then 3 other Ferraris, all equipped with mirrors, by the way.
They are, so already
equipped,
having an advantage over Kimura, who sits in second, but may well be a sitting duck right now because of his restricted rear visibility.
There is the other point, which is, of course, minimum weight.
Yes, although they're surely made of carbon fibre, so they won't weigh a great deal. A couple of kilos maybe. I honestly do think that they're used, yes, they're a gauge. Often, you know, supercar drivers in Australia will say that really the mirror's there to just work out how far you are from the concrete blocks at the edge of the street circuit. And as soon as you whip one off, then you've gone too close. The Ferrari will now pit, but I do think in GT racing, they're pretty crucial. If someone's going to stab a move up the inside, you need to be able to see them coming.
Goes as another side-by-side contact. Now, was that caused by a lack of mirror? So I certainly wasn't messing about. She's got about 12 minutes before her bronze time is done. It's a familiar trio in the European Le Mans Series with Michel Gatting and Rahel Frey. Rahel not racing with the group in the FIA World Endurance Championship this year. And there's trouble there, and that was touch from the 23 car on the rear of the 12 that has sent the WTM Barinaldi racing car of Torsten Kratz around. There you go, that's the number 9 car up the inside, very much up the inside, going by 2 of the LMP3s.
Duquesne up against the 27.
Nielsen
Racing for Nico Pino.
It's all getting a bit, I'm afraid that was self-inflicted. It was Jean-Baptiste Simonauer trying to get stuck into the 27 car of Nico Pino.
Pino would not have known that Simonauer was there, and it's a concerning place to put your nose. You need to make sure that the car alongside is fully aware.
With the familiar colours, but a different blend of those colours this year for GR Racing.
And matching wheels on that Ferrari, which looked very, very smart, I noticed, as they were doing the tyre change.
And reflective, by the way, too.
What the wheels are?
Yes. So,
like Hot Wheels. And meantime, nose to tail contact and then into the side of the Lamborghini for the 21 United Autosports cars. That was a fair old shove as well.
That's Axel Jeffries, the silver rank driver in the 63. Up the inside there, neatly done from Conrad Larson, and he grabs second place from Axel Jeffries, so it's now Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini. This is the change, Casper Stevenson up the inside there of Johnny Adam, and that is a change of position between the two Aston Martins.
They're absolutely side by side, but Caldwell's already got the lead.
Wow.
Unless late on the brakes, Miata can go down into turn 4, but no. And rejoining, or is this the continuation of the fight? No, these two cars have not been in the pits yet. Nope. Arthur Leclerc has got ahead, though, now of Massimo Cappiato. It looked like Leclerc had just come out of the pits because he was so far over to the right-hand side.
Outside, the two Aston Martins trading paints.
Nice. Don't mind a bit of that. Now and again, side-by-side action. They have nothing to do with one another. One team from Switzerland, the other one from the UK. Grid Motorsport to just knock down a position. Car off in the gravel. Now this might force the hand of Eduardo Freitas and the rest of his team.
That's Nelson Piquet Jr.
So Laurence Hoare in the orange and white and black DKR.
There was touch there, and then in he goes, and he was into the wall.
You could effectively say he was spun out.
Into full course yellow.
So Laurence Hoare may be misjudging precisely where the front of his car was. It's the 88, and there's problems here for the Iron Dames Porsche from the lead of the race. And it's, as it was coming out of pit road, has not got any further. I don't think it's even reached the racetrack. It's off on the grass just after the timing loop at the end of pit lane. That's the 47 car of Paul-Luc Chatin, who's looking to try and stay with James Allen for 11th position. And very close indeed here is the 47. It might only be for 10th place, but later on the brakes in a very different route into the first corner. 47 will gain the spot.
Does it neat and tidily.
That's Paul-Luc Chatin there, then, to get ahead of Duquesne's car.
Looks up the inside there, it's no way through there, Julien. Is that it is outside the parameters that the balanced performance offers them the opportunity to try to achieve, and that, Johnny Palmer, is the key thing. Balance of performance, you can view it in two ways. Are they putting a glass ceiling on performance? Yes, they are, but they're tough to get to. The knack, the skill, the excellence is getting as close as possible to those parameters, as long as possible as you possibly can.
Yeah, and that's where some creativity has to be left in the system for the teams to extract it. You've got to give the playing field for the teams to work out how to win these races rather than just stick them all on rails.
There is the Nielsen car just coming out of shots.
This is tricky.
Switch.
Lynn's going to allow Quinn through.
I think he has.
But that's cost Lynn a bit of time. And you're looking out for the red roof, the red visor. There it is, of the number 22 United Autosports car of Ben Handley, who can more or less touch both of them. Oh, and with one car going very wide now. Is that Lynn or is that Quinn? It's the Quinn car. So Quinn, having been allowed by Alex Lynn, makes a slight error coming out of turn 3. And Ben Handley's right with Alex Quinn now, and surely will try and deposit that car as quickly as possible. This is his moment to pounce. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
This is this lap and one more, I think, Johnny. Side by side between the 20. That is Handley through. Malte Jakobsen managing this to the end here. He is coming through turn 12 to start what I believe will be his... Will it be his final lap? It won't be, I don't think. I think it's this plus 2 more.
Yeah. Well, that could be very, very important if you're in the seat of Ben Handley, who got really close to both of the APR cars a moment or two ago. Then Alex Quinn made a slight mistake coming out of turn 3.
It's 2 more. It's 2 minutes to go as he crossed the line, so it's 2 more laps plus this one that these gentlemen are on at the moment.
Here are Cool Racing. They've taken victory in LMP2 Pro-Am before, but never as an outright LMP2 victory. And it's certainly thanks to the closing driver, who is Malte Jakobsen. We've known this kid is a star for so many years already. And Cool Racing take the opening win of the season for the European Le Mans Series.
Race to be completed. It is Formula Racing that take the win, though. Father and son, Conrad and Johnny Larson, the other way around rather, and Nicholas Nielsen. Also home was the winning car on AF Corsa, right in the wheel tracks of Malte Jakobsen. Mathieu Vazevier brings it home with Alessio Rivera and Francois Perrodo. Who is going to be the final podium sitter? It's right to the end of this race, Johnny. It's the Virage car ahead of the battle for the final podium position in GT3.
Yeah, so close, but as they go across the line, Julien Henrion will take the win. 139 laps completed then at the first race of the season for Cool Racing, who are winners from Algarve Pro Racing by 16 seconds. It's the combination of Matthias Kaiser, Ollie Caldwell and Alex Lynn who just miss out on the race win from the number 22 United Autosports car. EDEC Sport finished 4th ahead of Panis Racing, and LMP2 Pro-Am won by AF Corsa. Mathieu Vazevier in the 83 car along with Alessio Rivera and with Francois Perrodo. LMGT3 won by Formula Racing. For the second time this year, we're about to go racing in the European Le Mans Series, but it is a good getaway from Paul Lafargue as they head down into Verrerie for the first time. Now into Virage du L'Hôtel. A few looking for the inside line into Camp Corner, including the Philippe Hugran-driven United Autosports number 22, and there's a spinner in the mid-pack.
The Virage car.
Is it Virage or Panis? It's Tony Wells in the number 19 Team Virage car, because the 65 Panis car got safely through. Manuel Maldonado is in 10th.
We've got the 22 United Autosports car of Philippe Hugran getting involved in this group. Has managed to edge his way by the number 9 car. Can he get clear and get onto terms with the Cool Racing car ahead? Lorenzo Fluxer.
Jonas Reed has lost 2 places in about 2 corners there, so I don't know whether that's a genuine struggle for the Iron Lynx Proton Orica. As Johnny Edgar goes from a very last-minute dive for the race lead, and that's your classic Virage DuPont manoeuvre.
Oh, wow, all 4 off there for the Iron Lynx car.
Side-by-side action around the outside. Philippe Hugran went on Fluxer, so you said that they had switched positions. Fluxer now back to 4th position, and that was a terrific overtake into the double right at Beausset. Here to the left-hand side of your picture is Philippe Hugran on Paul Lafargue. So United up against EDEC, and this is for 2nd place.
I think that's done. I think that is done.
He was certainly ahead at the split. He's now ahead on the road. Then you've also got to provide the space, as there Hiroshi Hamaguchi will get ahead of Duncan Cameron for 3rd position in LMGT3, and for whatever reason Duncan Cameron just struggled maybe on the brakes or acceleration. Side by side for the LMP3 lead. Torsten Kratz in the white car, Matthew Richard Bell in the dark blue. And Matthew Bell to the inside line of Beausset, but he's washed it out a bit too much, and there's a shoulder barge there from Torsten Kratz to give the lead back to WTM by Rinaldi. Superb stuff from these two bronze star drivers in LMP3. Close enough.
Hit.
There was a hit with the new leader in LMP3, Matthew Richard Bell, so that could have been disaster for both.
Got the change for the lead now, and it was down the Mistral straight. Luca Iotto to the outside. Made that look relatively easy. Tyres, fuel saving, both.
Now,
Battle for second in
how about the
GT3.
Lambo? Yeah.
Oh, over the curbs there from Hiroshi Yamaguchi.
That's fine. That's fine. At least he's not airborne like Jonas Reed. It's not particularly fast, though, compared to the car guy Ferrari. And Hamaguchi versus Kimura, the two Japanese drivers. Now it has worked for him, and I think that was perfectly legal. He always had two Goodyear tyres on the right side of the white line. All right, so there's a conversation to be had there, no doubt. From a long way back, the number 8 car in LMP3, down the inside of car 4, that was for 4th position. Here's the Orlen-sponsored AO by TF car coming in to serve a penalty.
Has dropped already to 6th place. Next up is Ollie Colwell, but I don't think Ollie's close enough to be troubling that. He's not, so it drops that car down from 3rd to 6th.
Here he is, car 43 from the race lead.
Brush up for the Interior Pole car.
Quick slurp of water there for Ritoma Miata. So he's staying on board for another 40-45 minute stint. And Collard now perhaps about to be overtaken by the Formula Racing car, which was fully off the road coming up to senior corner. Might just have kept enough tyre the right side of the white line, and that's if it's legal, it's a great overtake by Conrad Lawson.
The 88 car, that is the Interior Pole competition car of Guy Askey, and that has stopped on the exit of turn 14.
We are under safety car, we are under safety car.
Trouble for what had been the race leader in LMP3 though.
And this is the car that has just been given the wave by. So the 12 of Leo Weiss.
What's happened there?
A moment or two ago I saw him in second. He's literally only just stopped. This is at Garlaban corner, turn 12. Side by side between Edek and Inter Europol competition, but it's Jakobsen from Job van Uitert. And here is Job under the pressure from Tom Dillman, who suddenly fires the car to the right-hand side as they go down the start-finish straight. Jakobsen will be loving this because he wants the two behind him to be slowed as much as possible. That was a very good run for Casper Stevenson on Ricardo Pera. He seemed to sort of change down and find a lower gear at turn 6 and 7 to drive the Aston Martin out of Saint-Baume and through the kink, and it's worked a treat up to 3rd position. And it's slowing. So is that a tyre? Because I was bothered that Malte Jakobsen might have gone a bit too fast here, and Cool Racing, hands on heads, the car will go no further.
It's not a tyre, it's not a tyre.
So the car has stopped inexplicably, and we have a new race leader at Le Castellet in the second round of the European Le Mans Series. It's Job van Uitert.
Full course yellow, full course yellow.
One is even by the look of things. Job van Uitert straight back onto the loud pedal. Tom Dillman right with him. It's not a race anymore, Johnny. It's a duel. They're waiting for tyres here, or at least a tyre.
Were they not taking a penalty?
No, it's a tyre.
And here comes Hasklow to the inside line of Beausset now. Ignore the number 60 Porsche. That's a lap down at least. Julian Andlauer, though, is going to be right with them in terms of pace and might be able to help out the Proton Run Iron Dames car in this whole scenario.
That rapid pit stop from the 55 means they have got the lead of this race.
I told you.
Yeah, spirit of race from GR Racing, then the Iron Lynx Lamborghini.
Oh, which car is that? Dillman to the lead, so that's the race leader. Clement Novalak has stopped on the main start-finish straight. Novalak no longer in the race. Tom Dillman to the race lead. And Tom Dillman, who had led going into the full course yellow recently, is back to the front. Paul-Luc Chatin to the high side and into senior corner, he gets it. Brilliant overtake that, again from the draft, and Louis Delatraz just seems to have nothing at his disposal to defend that. Side by side between Joop van Houten and Ben Hanley, and this is for second and third.
But not really.
But not really,
Ben will be told, I'm sure, to let him go and then stick with him.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Paul-Luc Chatin sniffing a podium here.
Absolutely.
Potentially
right.
I mean, if you can get ahead of Hanley, then that'll be a second place finish.
It will be second place, that's the point. I think he's going to do it, and do it reasonably easily here.
So, is this more of an issue for Ben Hanley rather than allowing Joop van Houten through? He's got no reply to Paul-Luc Chatin. An absolutely incredible result for Inter-Europol competition. In the end, they will still be very happy. They had to kiss goodbye to the race lead for one of their cars, but the other one was sitting pretty in second. It inherited the race lead and the race win of the 2024 4 Hours of Le Castellet. It's Sebastian Alvarez, it's Vlad Lomko, and it's Tom Dillman who are victorious here in the south of France in LMP2.
Coming home for the first victory for this trio. Together, the 55 car Spirit of Race take the win in LMGT3 after a titanic battle up and down the order. And it's going to be Richard Mille by TDS, the 29 car, Matthias Besch, bringing home this car for the LMP2 Pro Am win.
Car 15 then, RLR M Sport, and Gaël Julien driving on fresh air, it seems. But he got it to the finish. The three driving the 43 car, very, very happy after their 125 laps. They win it by 14 seconds over Cool Racing's combination of Alejandro Garcia, Paul-Luc Chatin and Fred Vesti, and also making the podium AO by TF. Louis Delatraz brought that to the line. LMP2 Pro-Am is won by Richard Mille by TDS, the 29 crew of Rodrigo Sales, Matthias Besch and Gregoire Saucet. And in LMP3, it's RLR M Sports who win 7 laps off the LMP2 pace, but only by 3.7 seconds. Gaël Julien driving in the slippers to keep Wyatt Brickerchek's chasing DKR engineering car behind. Spirit of Race win for the first time in 3 years and never before with this current driving combination. They outpace the 63 Lamborghini of Iron Lynx and completing the podium, again a different manufacturer, Aston Martin and Racing Spirit of Le Mans. We're about to go racing again for this now traditional 4 Hours of Imola. The World Endurance Championship have revealed or realised the secret of the Imola racetrack as well. That was a tremendous race earlier on in the season elsewhere in the ACO rules ladder. And now there's a drama for the 66 JMW Motorsport Ferrari of John Hartshorn. It looks like he's not going to be able to make the start. They'll cross the finish line first of all. The start line is around the next right-hand kink, so they're still waiting for those lights to go out, which they do now. And we're racing for the first time, for the third time in the European Le Mans Series in 2024. And is the 65 going to be able to lead into that first corner? Manuel Maldonado with his arms full into the Tamburello chicane, but he is able to fend off Ryan Cullen and Lorenzo Fluxa for the first time of asking. The 43 does indeed have to start the race from pit road, so Sebastian Alvarez came down pit lane and will be released very shortly. That was a little bit off track for Derek De Boer, and is this going to be a lead change in LMGT3? Not quite, although De Boer goes wide on the exit at Toza, and through in the gap goes Sarah Bovey back to the race lead in GT. Here comes Edgar on the inside of Kaiser. Can't quite do it though. They had GT cars in front, including the LMGT3 Championship leaders. 55, that's Duncan Cameron for the opening stint.
Side by side here between the Inter-Europol car and the AO by TF car. Dust being kicked off up on the exits. It's super quick through this section, Johnny, before they get into the braking zone.
A Again, though, a wall of GTs, and you better get used to this because they're going to be in all the wrong places. Luca Giotto, who is a platinum driver, is going to out-muscle Matthias Kaiser through the second of the Rivazzas, and Johnny Edgar very nearly ran in the back of him because he was so slow out of the corner. But Edgar thankfully had his head up and was wary to that fact and was able to dodge to the left-hand side, but that could have been calamity very early on in this 4-hour race.
Kaiser just dipped a rear tyre into the gravel there, didn't he?
Back in the swing of things now, just about. And how about the Vector Sport car of Ryan Cullen, who's having to be majorly defensive there on Luca Giotto.
Cullen runs across the gravel and has lost those two positions. Side by side here between the 5 and the 12, and that is Daniel Alley going through on Torsten Kratz to take the lead of the race at the moment. Trouble for the 27.
That's the Rivazza gravel trap as well, isn't it?
That's
David
David.
Heinemeier
Yeah,
Hansen,
David.
who's perhaps run out of brakes, or did he have contact resulting in the car ending in the gravel at turn 18?
Nobody with him there. He ran straight on. Ugh. Got too deep into the corner, didn't he? Didn't have enough.
And in the next 10 seconds, here comes a full course yellow.
8.
She's going to get him. She's going to get him.
5, 4.
Just as they come into the full course yellow. Beautifully done by Sarabufi.
Full course yellow.
And was that a bit of drop in concentration for Derek de Boer, knowing that the countdown was happening in his ears, either directly from Eduardo Freitas or from his engineer? And Sarah says, well, we're not yellow yet. Full course yellow, as Carl Bennett is running again, and that means we can go back to green, and Johnny Edgar's not going to waste any time at all in diving down the inside of Manuel Maldonado for second position on lap 45. Edgar tried that coming out of the previous full course yellow. It's not yet done though, because Maldonado now elbowing him wide at Tosa. 37 from third. Lorenzo Fluxa running third on the road. Well, no longer, because he's got to find an opportunity here to turn the car around, and it's right in front of the WTM by Rinaldi car. Nothing between them again, as the Kessel Racing Ferrari virtually pushing Axel Jeffries towards Piritella. They're going to arrive at turn 9 together and round the outside. Can he pull that off? Amazing manoeuvre from Esteban Masson on Axel Jeffries. So many times this weekend we've seen cars running so wide that they drag two wheels and tyres through the gravel.
The 37 off again,
and
it's the
4 DKR car as well. So the 37 that had already spun when it was in the hands of Lorenzo Fluxa. Big collision. And it happened way before that, but off goes Paul-Luc Chatin into tyres, thankfully, rather than colliding with bare metal and Armco barrier. Diving down the inside there.
There's contact there.
So in the Formula Racing car, which is not on the lead GT lap, it's Conrad Laursen. That's not going to stop him getting ahead, though, of the Grid Motorsport car of Lorcan Hannafin.
And trouble there for Matt Griffin.
Sideways he goes. Was that a side-to-side contact with another Ferrari 296?
Trouble.
Now this could be an issue for the 77, the pole-sitting car. Bent Viscal, the Dutchman, has gone off a long way at Tosa corner, and the car is absolutely covered in gravel dust. Now, was he helped there, or has he ended up there with no brakes? But all of a sudden, Proton Competition wondering how on earth the 77 is that far from the racetrack.
And he was almost hip-checked out of it by the Duquesne car. That was in his own battle. Didn't look in the mirrors there, I'm afraid, and the Duquesne car is off as well.
So 30 Duquesne, Jean-Baptiste Simonauer, first of all, moving across the road because he wanted to perform an overtake into Tosa as well.
Full course yellow is coming.
3, 2, 1.
Full course yellow removed.
Here we go, back to green, and actually Michelle Gatting was very quick to react to that, I should say, and into the Tamburello chicane. She is scampering away from the Aston Martin, which might have the merest of grazes 43 is able to slice by these two LMGT3 leaders then. Here's Michel Gatting. Now the Aston Martin surely has got a better exit this time around, looking for the crucial inside line down at Tamburello, but Michel Gatting's not going to allow Valentin Haskell to get anywhere close to it. There was definitely contact there between the two of them on the main straight. There's a big scuff mark now on the Aston Martin and a huge squirm from the Porsche. We are staying totally glued.
Serra and Caldarelli, is this the move?
Daniel Serra, no. Serra to the outside, Caldarelli on the inside.
4.
Watch this bomb explode.
1.
Oh, Lorcan Hannafin thought about going to the left, then he thought about going to the right.
Whoa.
The Astons might change position, but the Porsche's going to stay in front. No, the Astons stay as they are. But will it be Mathieu Lehay or will it be Julien Henrion to finish second? There's really nothing between them. Henrion is clearly the quicker car and he steps out to the left. That'll give him the inside line into Tamburello. Unless Mathieu Lehay can... Got him, surely, yes. Great car placement as well. We're not very far away from Adam Ali. Adam Ali across the line in the LMP3 to take victory. It's Serra late on the brakes. He's ripped the rear of the Aston Martin off the car, but that doesn't matter. It'll actually mean it's a bit lighter now for Valentin Haskell to pull it out of Rivazza and still to finish second. But Michel Gatting will win by a country mile compared to the most of the final bit of the stint as the bumper goes flying off towards the barrier. And that's what it means to everyone associated with Proton competition and with the Iron Dames project. How on earth did Michel Gatting get that car to the finish after Rahel Fry had done a stint and a half on the very same set of good years? In LMP2 goes to Charmy Lacey in the 65 Panis Racing crew, along with Manuel Maldonado and his teammate Arthur Leclerc. Pro-Am goes the way of Algarve Pro Racing, LMP3 Euro International. Adam Ali, Matthew Bell in the number 11 car, taking another victory this season.
Into Parc Fermé, Charles Lacey and his teammates for Panis Racing. Sadly, Charles was judged to have sped up too soon after one of the full course yellows, and a post-race penalty dropped them to 5th, promoting AO by TF to the race win. Which means now at the midway point of the season, they are just 2 points off the championship lead. Victory in LMP2 Pro-Am went to the car that qualified 7th of 8. Crichton Lentudis, Richard Bradley and Alex Quinn coming out on top of the pile. A first win for the Algarve Pro trio. AF Corsa taking second, Richard Mille by TDS third, and they are in reverse order of the top 3 in the points. Just 3 apart at the top, and Algarve Pro still very much in contention. Victory in LMP3 going to Euro International's duo Adam Ali and Matthew Bell. On the board and on the top step of the podium, and probably feeling pretty tired. Virage taking second place, Ultimate in third. And that win vaults Euro International's number 11 crew into a 2-point lead at the top of the points table midway through the season. The closest margin of victory was for the Iron Dames. Sarah Bovey, Rahel Fry and Michel Gatting finally getting the win. And it might taste all that much sweeter because of how hard it's been. The Iron Dames were joined on the podium by Racing Spirit of Lemon and Kessel Racing, but a post-race penalty for the 57 Kessel Ferrari for passing under double-waved yellows handed third to the Iron Lynx Lamborghini. And while the Lambo crew may have missed their moment on the podium, those vital points do mean that they are still leading the championship from Racing Spirits of Le Mans, who are 1 ahead of the Iron Dames. So is the second half of the season going to be tight, close, exciting? You betcha. Imola had it all, but with 3 more races remaining, there is still plenty to play for.
it's always a dramatic start here because you accelerate away for the 4th race of the season and then immediately have to hit the brakes hard. And this is where the tyres are cold and the brakes are cold, and is everybody going to be given sufficient room to get through La Source on this opening stanza down towards Eau Rouge for the first time? The GTs just need to get through in a neat and tidy fashion, and you can hold your breath and say we've had a clean start up until now, which from the whole of the rest of the shenanigans this weekend is a bit of a surprise. But maybe everyone has been read the riot act a little bit in the driver's briefing and needing to behave, because it's a long, long race.
More tussling here, 22 and 9. United Autosports and the are linked by Proton cars.
2 by 2 coming out of Bruxelles corner.
Great move there from Julien Gerby around the outside of the 88 car in his number 8. And that takes him up into 4th place in this LMP3 battle. Next target is going to be Michael Jensen. And now it's a battle for 2nd, the number 8 car of Julien Gerby, looking to make progress, but he's in a tussle, not just with the 17 car. He was eager to get by, but needed to take to the escape road to do that. It was a touch with the Vector Sport car and the Algarve Pro car, and yes, John's been in the wall heavily.
And what happened to the Algarve Pro car after this? I think Vector got away with it. That was Ryan Cullen, but driving the Sky Blue car, John Hartshorn is able to get out of the car and walk away.
Slightly gingerly.
Well, you can understand that.
You know what?
So that's the car that started 2nd in LMP3. We've seen some absolutely whopping accidents similar to that if a car goes further to its right and slams into the tyre wall.
It's 3-car train, the double toe here for Matt Griffin. They've got fan out now.
He goes to the left, now he goes to the right. He's going to plug that gap that Sarah Bovey has inadvertently created, but she sticks to the inside line.
She does a hit. Oh, there's a big hit!
And where's Lawson going? Is he going to be involved as well? He's gone totally left to try and avoid spinning Matt Griffin and Sarah Bovey. Lawson's caught in
They're all
as
three
well.
off.
He's now being investigated for something.
So Matt staying aboard the car as the guys look and see whether or not this is something they can fix quickly.
Oh, there's a spin further back on the restart. Was that a P2 car? I think it was, yeah. It's the Duquesne car, number 30, that is stranded in the middle of the road. And that is Jean-Baptiste Simonauer, who either got hit or tried to give it too much right foot on coolish tyres.
Or has that changed as well? So I didn't see what happened there with Hiroshi Hamaguchi, but he was leaving La Source very slowly indeed. He's had a moment, I think, on a braking. And there's trouble there for the 22.
And this is what happened to Sarah Bovey.
Oh dear me.
She's out now. She's out of the race now. That's totally broken the steering. And Hiroshi Hamaguchi's probably out as well.
He was in trouble.
The 12 WTM car is the one that's clashed with Matthew Bell. I don't know whether we ever said that, but Wochenspiegel Team Monschau, Rinaldi car, and the 11. We've got that as well. And Lawson spinning round and round, and I think this hit into the tyre wall is going to be, well, not too bad. The more substantial contact. Onto the Kemmel Straight they go, and certainly defending initially is Philippe Hubegran. Then he puts the car in the middle of the road. Is it going to be around the outside from the Polish driver? That is absolutely terrific from Robert Kubica to take the race lead. He kept the car totally within the confines of the circuit with after the Kemmel rather, with Hubegran behind. Or rather in front of Lomko. I'll get it right in a minute. Around the outside will go Vlad Lomko to take the position away from Philippe Hubegran. So Hubegran led a couple of laps ago. Difficult for Hubegran this, because he's got the zebra liveried Ferrari ahead of him, which is the 51 of Manu Collard. Very rapid indeed, of course, in the GT ranks. But around the outside, De Guiris on Hubegran. Yeah, that was all getting a bit too close for comfort, but purely because they're having to work their way through slower LMGT3 cars that are not hanging around, rest assured, but they're never going to be as quick as a P2.
He wants to be part of this, and he's the quicker of the 3 at the moment.
Partly because these two have been bottled up in amongst GT traffic.
Clash there.
That was Ugran to the side of Richard de Gueres. De Gueres says, well, I've got to go over to this part of the circuit because I was put there, and Stefan Rakalmi will swallow up Philippe Ugran in one fell swoop, and maybe de Gueres as well. De Gueres thought about turning in and had to redress his line as quickly as possible. So there may have been a slight pause in an otherwise seamless stop. Purple and dark blue car rejoined. Esteban Masson now, though, is a lot distant, not more distant from Johnny Adam. So these LMP2 cars, perhaps all crowding the GT3, the LMGT3 cars, has rather separated their fight.
Solly Caldwell
fighting with, on the outside, Andy Merrick. Not too far away.
No,
Fabio Shearer's
that's
actually in the
other
pit
one. That's
lane.
Richard Bradley. It's the 20 car. My apologies. It is the battle for the two Aston Martins and LMGT3. At the moment, this is the battle for fifth, but that will wind back to be close to the lead battle, certainly from podium positions, and Lorcan Hannafin goes by Casper Stevenson. This time, weaving around Capietto, trying to fend off Drugovic. He's going to go around the outside. He's done it.
But Joop van Houten didn't make the corner at all. He wasn't attempting an overtake, but found himself on the runoff at Les Combes.
This is the battle between Joop van Houten. He pulls the dummy on Felipe Drugovic. He's going to make that move into and through the bus stop. Neatly done there by the Dutchman. The Brazilian. Trouble though for Julian Anlauer.
He's pushed too hard. Perhaps. I'm rather speculating there.
Looked like a left puncture.
Joop van Houten's going to try it first of all, and Jakobsen just cannot slow him down. He can't do anything about that. And apart from Joop van Houten maybe running a bit too deep. And here is Charles Milesi to also swallow up the very talented Jakobsen. But in this phase of the race, nothing up his sleeve at all.
No.
Joop van Houten this time into La Source, but it's probably going to be better to get a good exit out of this corner and make sure. Oh no, I was going to say do it on the Kemmel Straight, but he won't need to because Joop van Houten just couldn't really turn in.
So there's a sniff up the outside of the Aston Martin. This is going to be a drag race down the start-finish straight.
Pironi needed to know the Ferrari's dimensions there because there was about a cigarette paper between the front of the Ferrari and the rear wing of the Aston Martin. Around the outside will go Verone. Valentin Hasklow, it's a drag race, but the Ferrari's going to win it. He's ahead of the Aston Martin into third position. An awesome overtake.
Here comes Jakobsen.
Who are going to overlap and change position. But if these guys are struggling with their cars, then there's nothing to stop Louis Delatraz and Tom Dillman to potentially hit issues this late on in the race as well. Johnny kept his patience. He handed over to Robert Kubica, and Louis Delatraz has brought it home for the AO by TF Outfits' first victory of the season in the European Le Mans Series. It feels like it's been a very long time coming, but truly well deserved.
Will be your international here, crossing the line with Adam Ali, Matthew Richard Bell. That duo will take LMP3, LMP2 Pro Am, AF Corsa. Mathieu Vazevier brings the car home.
It will be Kessel Racing for Daniel Serra to complete the run, along with Esteban Masson, who did the lion's share of the middle chunk of the race, actually. Loads more to come from the ELMS. We sign off from Belgium. Bye-bye. We are green in Mugello for 2024, and round 5 of the European Le Mans Series bursts into life. And all of a sudden, the fight is on for the head of the order in LMP2. Are they all going to stop with their cold brakes in time for San Donato? One or two have gone very, very wide. There was just a hint of a touch. But amazingly, they're all still pointing in the right direction, and forcing its way through is the 34 car into third position, driven by Clement Novalak. He should make progress in amongst one or two silvers around him. Jonas Reed, though, Clement Novalak is definitely turning the screw in third position as his green and yellow car jinks to the left. He's going to go around the outside of Manuel Maldonado, and on the brakes for San Donato takes second position. That was set up way back exiting Bucine corner, turn 15. helped out by that big hole in the air being made by Derek De Boer. So De Boer will have the inside line for San Donato. How late is he going to brake though? And is Sarah Bovey going to be braver as she slows for the first corner? The problem is, if she gets caught on that side, this might be an in for Martin Berry at Iron Dames from various levels of that programme. Loving that. Aston Martin side by side, arriving into Luco together, and De Boer toughing it out, trying to hang on to second position. He can't do it though. They're not from the same team. One is a TF, Tom Ferrier Sport run car, the other one behind from Switzerland, Racing Spirit of Le Mans. DKR engineering car, which is in the barrier. This is an LMP2 Pro Am car, and it's Andres Latour. So where has this happened? Into the final corner. Yes, that's where the yellow flags are, the approach to Bouchine corner, and barely got anywhere around that left-hander before skating off through the gravel, and quite a heavy hit under those tyres. Johnny Edgar being overtaken by the 43 car of Sebastian Alvarez, who had held the fastest lap before Clement Novalak hit the front. So Alvarez and Novalak are in fact teammates within Inter-Europol competition, although they drive different cars.
Endurance racing is what it says on the tin. It's a matter of getting pace, but keeping that pace as consistent as possible through long distances. Hard on the tyres, hard on fuel strategy, hard physically and mentally on the drivers. And there's a change. The 43 car loses out 2 places there. Is this going to be a third?
There's really only one racing line through there, so these LMP2s had to wait for the GR Racing Ferrari to get through before they could then start to overlap it. And now to the high side arrives on the scene Niels Coulson in the black and green Duquesne car, and he does gain a spot. Now the championship rivals are side by side. Johnny Edgar on the inside, but it'll be the outside for Luco, and Alvarez back through again in the number 43 car.
Ebb and flow, isn't it? It's good stuff at the moment, up and down this pack. Championship battles being established. That is Ryan Cullen having now cleared the LMP3 field. So his next target, 12 seconds ahead, is going to be the 24 Nielsen racing car. Oh, and just a little, taking a bit of grass to get by there. Clement Novalak, they're side by side, and this is change for the lead. 66 car just runs wide. Is there room there for the 51 car up the inside? We'll say while we get a moment to have a look at the 66 car, together with AF Corsa, the longest established teams in this championship. Oh, and that was a touch, and around goes the Duquesne car, but that was a massive save. And trouble for the 47 Cool Racing car, Fred Vesti. Maybe it's not anything to do with strategy, maybe it's a problem.
Right behind him is Lorenzo Fluxer in 6th. And Fluxer's going to go for the overtake down the inside of Bijoy Garg, who can't get back across the road to defend from the Spaniard, and a change of position there for 5th place. So that was a bit of a touch on the left of Derek De Boer's car from a recovering 35 Ultimate. Remember that had a spin out of Correntaio corner not that long ago, and Ultimate for Louis Stern, who is a name we know from the Ligier European Series, racing for Ultimate this weekend, but now at the back of that category.
Yeah, there was the kiss side to side between the two. Tricky here with the LMP3 cars and the LMGT3 cars.
Now around the outside goes Sebastian Alvarez on Bijoy Garg. This is a fight for 6th and 7th places, and if Alvarez can stay there, he'll be in on the inside line for Luco and gets that move done.
So he's opted to jump at the earliest possible opportunity, just about. So this will be, I'm sure, a driver change for the 83. Pits from 5th place, with a couple of very quick drivers available. Oh, there's a spin there for the number 14 car on its outlap. Didn't see whether or not there was a touch, but it was on cold tyres.
Now to the outside line, number 65, Arthur Leclerc, down the inside of Ritoma Miata and gets ahead.
That was cracking stuff and looking racy, and Arthur Leclerc is enjoying his time in LMP2.
So look out for the green Ferrari, a big hit onto the EDEC car coming out of the Biondetti chicane, and that automatic, and then a second one as well, which has completely dislodged, broken that front right wheel. I wouldn't imagine that the EDEC Sport car's got 3 wheels after that. It was a huge hit initially. Now his French teammate Matteo Cappietto is going to go for the race lead, is he? No, not quite. Ollie Caldwell had that move covered, but Cappietto now trying to get the outside line out of San Donato. That's not going to work though for Luco, so has to stay in second. Oh, what a great move this could be if he charges his way down the inside of Poggia Secco.
Maguchi, and there's a touch between Hiroshi Hamaguchi and Alessio Rivera. Hamaguchi looked like he was very slow there.
Has he discovered something? Oh, there's a big one. There's a huge crash, I'm afraid, to the back of Claudia Schiavone's car, and that was Rahel Frey who tagged the back of the 60 machine as they were going down the long straight. And amazingly, everybody else got through the carnage, but that's a huge hit for Claudia Schiavone, who got tagged to the rear, and it's another safety car.
Big hit. He's walked away from the car, looking pretty shocked, to be honest with you. This is the inside from the Lamborghini. It has to take to the grass to avoid. The best news is Claudia Schiavone has walked away from that.
And red flag would be the result whilst the track was cleared up.
All of those 17 LMP2 cars are on the lead lap. We then get to the first car that is not, and that is the AF Corsa 83. After that clash between the 83 and the 63 Lamborghini, Alessio Rivera sits 7th in LMP2 Pro-Am.
No overtaking before the line, remember, although you can pull out of line as long as you're not overlapping at that point, and that's a killer getaway for Ollie Gray, who might be alongside. In fact, he's almost in front of Matteo Cappietto, but Cappietto says no you don't and charges down the inside. And that little bit of contact from Robert Kubica won't have helped either, but he did get through in car number 14.
A bit of drag there, isn't it? It is, you can see it is affecting the handling of that car. Is it just the bodywork damage that's affecting the handling of the car? Is that car taking a dink on that corner? That car is dropping back. It's Ritoma Miata aboard that car.
Oh, big off though for...
It's a 17.
Porsche was ahead of the Aston, then Stevenson down the inside of Rahel Frey. That seemed like a fair move. Then Casper Stevenson slows for the virtual safety car, and Rahel Frey did not in the 85 car.
Trouble for Adam Ali. He's dropped out of this lead battle. So he was involved in that tussle, trying to get through the GT3 pack, and he has dropped way back down now. Lost, what was that? 14, 15 seconds somewhere. So the Euro International car, our championship leader that was running a strong third and looking to get onto terms with the RLR cars ahead, has now dropped to 6th position with Adam Ali. Oh, there was a touch there between the GR racing car and the JMW car, I think.
Manu Collard is struggling a touch with this car, which might be tyre wear potentially. He can't defend from Lawson, who's going to be down the inside to take the lead in LMGT3 at Scarparia corner.
Closing the toe though, Johnny.
So to the left, surely Giotto's going to go now, and Delatraz will brake as late as he can, but the Giotto car can brake even later. Far more manoeuvrability from the number 34 car. Milesi gets through on the 31, but here comes the 34 into Europol competition car around the outside.
He's got tyres underneath that car, hasn't he?
Scarparia into Pelagio, that's 2 position. Here's Daniel Serra to the high side in the car guy Ferrari, trying to brake as late as he possibly can. If he can stay there, door handle to door handle, the next corner's a left-hander, and without any contact whatsoever, an absolutely superb overtake. Well, how many people predicted that the number 9 Iron Lynx Proton car was going to win this race? They are going to win this race. So let's deal with the win first of all for Iron Lynx and Proton. A terrific catch and overtake for Daniel Serra in the number 57 Kessel Racing. In LMP2 Pro-Am, it's Matthias Besch in the number 29 Richard Mille by TDS Racing Crew with Gregoire Sausset and Rodrigo Sales. Almost an hour and 20 minutes. Normally you can only do 60 minutes in one of these cars. An incredible result for Team Virage in their number 8 for Julien Gerby, Bernardo Pinheiro and Julien Omrion.
Well, there is the result. It's the number 9 Iron Lynx Proton Orica. 114 laps under the wheels, 6.5 seconds clear of the 25 Algarve Pro Racing Orica and Inter Europol's 34. In LMP2 Pro-Am, Richard Mille by TDS take the win and 8th overall with their 29 car. Head of the 20 from Algarve Pro Racing and the 77 from Proton Competition. Spectacular finish in LMP3. Team Virage's number 8 car just edge it from the number 15 car of RLRM Sport with Inter Europol on the podium in that Class 2 in the number 88, and then a win in spectacular fashion for the 57 Kessel Racing Ferrari at a Grid Motorsport by TF's number 97 Aston Martin, and completing the podium is the 50 Formula Racing Ferrari.
See you in 3 weeks in Portugal. It's been quite a wait. It's been 7 months of racing, but those 5 red lights are about to indicate that the European Le Mans Series finale for 2024 is green, is go, and already a jump to the midfield there for the yellow-fronted Inter Europol competition car number 43, but it's a good getaway from Manuel Maldonado, side by side in behind, and that means that Lorenzo Fluxa loses a spot. LMGT3s get through turn 1 for the first time of asking. A bit of give and take, and that is necessary in such a long race with some awkward corners. Natural pinch point in 1, 2 and 3 and 4. The cars are moving around on the road, but now there's going to be a lead change, and we barely had a sector. Is there around the outside will go Gabby Aubry, and now there's a spin and a big hit for the 34 Inter Europol competition car. There might have been a brush there from the number 8 LMP3 car on some GT traffic. Quite a lot of mixing up because of those pit stops early on from LMP3, and as you say, the baby prototypes.
This is the number 50 car, the Formula Racing car, and that was a bit of a brush with, I think that's probably a couple of dive planes missing for the 59 Aston Martin. Race winning, and there was a second incident involving the 59 going round as well. That was another hit on another Aston Martin by the 50 car, Johnny Larson.
Yeah, because we've all done the permutations to think that was a really late move, but an excellent one from Nico Pino. Not the first time we've seen that. Now to the high side, the 37 car of Lorenzo Fluxa puts a GT3 car in between it and the 65. The LMGT3 car just sort of folded its arms in and said, yeah, you crack on, and a place change as a result.
Side by side between the 9 and the 30, Duquesne and our race leaders at Mugello.
Alexander Bukantsov, in fact, gets ahead of Jacques Wolf, so tumbling down to 9th spot. Jonas Reed on the inside of Ryan Cullen in the white and black Vector Sport car. And this is the fight for 10th and 9th. And Reed gets the place, so up into the top 9. Carl Bennett will be the next car on his list, although having said that, shouldn't call the overtake quite before it's completed, but now he is through. Debris from the back of the 59 car. That was almost like the rear exploded. So have they put a new rear screen in that car?
It's the 22, and that was the Panis Racing car.
In LMP2 Pro-Am, as John Fowle went down the inside of Georgios Kolovos, it's been a recovery drive for John Fowle. Johnny Edgar's on the defensive mode because trying to squeeze through is the 43 of Sebastian Alvarez. Done a shove out of the way there from the LMP2 Virage car to the number 12, which is second in LMP2. So Torsten Kratz. So Mike Wainwright's 86 Ferrari has clashed with the 28, the former race leader, and Pino descending down the charts. We were about to give you the current standings, the current order, but that's going to be very, very stale now.
We are going virtual safety car at 15:37:30. At 15:37:30 we're going virtual safety car.
I think that was an outlap from Eric.
Cold tyres.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Okay, that would explain it.
20 seconds to virtual safety car.
Car, 21 car, has certainly been in the wars at certain times when Daniel Schneider was driving it. Tucked in behind is Ritoma Miyata. Miyata actually timed as being ahead of Pedersen across the line. Oh, he is ahead, that's why. And a big whack of the curb there by the AO by TF Sport car, which is going around the outside now, trying to net third position away from Pedersen. Still not quite done it at turn 4.
That's Robert Kubica aboard the 14 car now. We've got a fair number of the quicker drivers, and that was almost side-to-side contact as up the inside there. It's Arthur Leclerc in the number 65 car. Gets up into third place. Some potentially exciting stuff to come from Arthur, by the way. Media reports that he will be testing a Ferrari hypercar at the rookie test in Bahrain. That's turn 3. It did look pretty tight through there. 2 and 3 wide between a number of cars.
And a slight lock-up from the 34 car, which barrels its way down the hill. That's the Inter-Europol of Clement Novalak.
As we're watching that, confirmation that car 9, winner last time out, Iron Lynx Proton will be getting a drive-through penalty for track limits. 66 car has, I think, managed to rejoin.
So Lawson, Hamaguchi, Berry all overlapping one another. Now Sarah Bovey is catching, or was there a tag, or was that a lose entirely on his own for Scott Noble?
Those two battling away from the start of the race for the lead in LMP3, but now battling for what is that third place, because Euro International lead the race. It's not just the weight of the hit, it's where you hit it and what angle you hit it at that often is the problem. In and out the pits, by the way, the Grid Motorsport by TF car, and Johnny Adam is now aboard the 97 car, rejoins in 8th place, but a lot of work to do. JMW Motorsport 66 Ferrari is also on pit lane.
Robert Kubica having a very enjoyable stint to this point. He's in third position. Now Jean-Baptiste Simonau getting the elbows out again as he fights with Frederick Vesti. Vesti getting a slightly better run. And who's this arriving on the scene? It's Alex Lynn in the APR car. So these are all on the same lap, all for position. Oh, getting in the side there.
Alex Lynn currently running 6th, 7th and 8th as the car streamed by what had been second place for Arthur Leclerc. Ritoma Miyata carries on around for another lap. That's a change, I think.
Ooh,
oh, no,
but then wasn't.
That's Arthur Leclerc getting onto terms with Fred Vesti.
Now down the inside will go Manuel Espirito Santo on Bernardo Pinheiro, who appears to have no answer to the pace of the Cool Racing car.
Luca Giotto is catching Delatraz in the 34 Inter-Europol car. Ferdy Habsburg a further 7 seconds back and going quickly. Tom Dillman quick as well. This is going to be a group that compresses and compresses quickly. LMP2 Pro-Am, Alex Quinn leads Varga Pro Racing from Bent Fiscal for Proton. Nielsen Racing's Nick Yellerly is in third.
But these guys have been around the block a few times now. Now there's the 5 car in the way. Oh, and then more of a touch, and the 29 wants the middle of the road. So they're still getting into one another. Phenomenal car control there, particularly from Mathieu Vaxivière.
You can see again this incident. It was up the inside of the Aston Martin for Ollie Jarvis. We didn't see that early enough.
No, I agree. Down the inside. Well,
I don't think I'd have put my Orica there.
Further behind, nose to tail between the Inter-Europol competition cars. Will the 43 be allowed to head by here? It was just a draft, actually. That might well have been a decision by the team as well.
Tom Dillman, I think, is going to be a man to watch here. He's got pace. He's coming on the back of as another positional change there. The Panis racing car. Baker's up the inside again, and is it going to be two positional changes? It is, in two corners for the 65 car. Charles Malaysi is on a tear as well.
Not quite got it done though yet on Giotto. Giotto to the inside line at turn 7.
Oh, there's a
squirm. Flashing the lights, and now Giotto says, get out of it, Malaysi.
This was what we saw just a half a lap or two ago between those two cars. That battle was won on track by Luca Giotto.
Side-to-side contact, not between those two cars again. It was 29 and 83. That was a very close manoeuvre.
So he's dropped right back. That's put them out of this. Sean Malaysi drops, what is that, 5 places on the restart. Malte Jakobsen 2.3 seconds ahead of Louis Delatraz. He's now trying to pull back some of those lost positions, getting onto terms here with the number 10 car.
Oh, now there's contact with the Vector Sport car, and there's a problem now massively because everything's condensing, and that was the DKR car involved as well. Now a good run from the Wochenspiegel team, Monchard Duquesne on the 8 of Julien Henrion for Team Virage, picking up some debris on the way through. But that is, well, actually, Oscar Tuño, yes, timed ahead, and that was right at turn 1. So Gael Julien now running 4th, but ahead of Julien Henrion and catching the number 11 car of Adam Ali.
Matthias Besch goes ahead of the Algarve Pro car of Alex Quinn, but that gap 17,000 to a second, and here comes 3 title contenders together there as well, and that's the 8 car off the track after contact from the 88, and that might well be done for Team Virage. Side by side here, Gael Julien on the attack. And he makes that run. Now his next target is the championship leader.
Was that the 83 getting ahead of 29?
It was. That's a change, and that will determine fate of the LMP2 Pro-Am.
So Mathieu Vaxivière has maybe benefited from an error from Matthias Besch.
And there is Gael Julien up the inside. This could be it here and now. He's done. Got the move done cleanly. Beautifully done, and he's in amongst the LMP2 Pro-Ams.
AO by TF having a late stop. Again, we would have expected that. So it's not a huge concern. I think everybody else is likely to come in. What about APR? Have they pulled off an absolute blinder here? Has he been in fuel save? That's the reaction from Cool Racing. Now at turn 13, heading through Sagres. And a win for Cool Racing and Malte Jakobsen for this one-off event. Everyone in the Cool Racing garage has shot off.
Lamborghini up the inside. The Lamborghini's taken the lead.
Incredible.
It's going to be Lamborghini to take the win and the title with a pass in the final corner. Absolutely astonishing.
And he knew all about where the race leader was. Surely be able to lock that in. Andrea Caldarelli spotted the opportunity and wins the LMGT3 category, scoring 7 more points than the Iron Dames.
What an amazing end to this season. Well.
Now, Bent Viscal ended up winning the LMP2 Pro-Am division. So what did that do to Algarve Pro Racing's opportunity? Was second place enough? I'm not sure it was.
AF Corsa finished 4th with 12 points, 98 points for AF Corsa.
Yeah.
Algarve Pro Racing finished
96.
2nd with 18. It's gone to AF Corsa.
Cool Racing take the victory after 127 laps from AO by TF, our champions in 2024. Cool Racing, 2 cars on the podium ahead of the 2 Inter-Europol competition cars, 4th and 5th. A late change in LMP2 Pro-Am sees the 77 car for Proton competition and Bent Viscal jump ahead of Algarve Pro Racing, denying the 20 crew a title instead. That goes to the 13th placed finisher, number 83. They finished 4th in class, AF Corsa. And then further down the order in LMP3, it was a victory again for Cool Racing. A great day for those guys. 2 cars in it on the LMP2 podium, a win in LMP3 and a championship in the Michelin Le Mans Cup. And in LMGT3, it's a win for the 63 Andrea Caldarelli driven car. Literally a last corner manoeuvre to put Axel Jeffries and Hiroshi Hamaguchi into the championship lead just as the overall leader was overtaking them to immediately cement those positions. Remember that the strength in depth, which is heading to this championship, some will have to be turned away. You cannot wait for it. We certainly can't. See you next April. Bye-bye for now.